Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hope my voice is audible for everyone. Yeah, we will start the session now. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sharadindu Vikasi Mandahasam Sphuradindevaralochanaabhiramam Aravinda Samana Sundarasya Maravindasana Sundare Mupasye Gurave Sarvalokanam Bhishaje Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarvavidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण मलिनो निर्मलायते देशिकं तमहं वन्दे श्रीमच्छङ्करभारतीं ब्रह्मानन्दे सदा सन्तं शङ्करार्यकराब्जजं सद्गुरुं तमहं वन्दे श्रीब्रह्मानन्दभारतीं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्. A warm welcome to everyone on this Thursday evening. Uh, uh, Today we are gathered here to know about Shankaracharya, Totakaacharya, and about Shivananda Lahari. And before that, I'll just want to give a heads up regarding this talk series. So this talk series is conducted by Vedanta Bharati for under the banner of Suvarna Bharati to commemorate 50 years of Sannyasa Svikara of Jagadguru Dakshinamaya Shringeri Sharada Pithadhishwara Shri Shri Bharati Tirtha Mahasanidhanam. As we all know, living 50 years is a big achievement, but living 50 years of sannyasa, that too with the more of tyaga and guiding the people, so it is more a tremendous thing. So we are commemorating this sannyasa svikara 50th year of sannyasa svikara of Shri Shri Bharati Tirtha Mahaswamiji. And in this aspect, Vedanta Bharati, Baswan Gudi Ayodhya and overseas are conducting talk series on Guru and Shankaracharya and Guru Shishya Parampara. So till now we have learnt many of the things like what Guru Tattva, Guru Parampara, and Shankaracharya. Some of the works of Shankaracharya like uh, Bhaja Govindam Stotra, Saundarya Lahari in the last class, and the other three Amnaya Pitas, about the three Amnaya Pitas. So today now we are going to learn about Shankaracharya and his disciple Totakaacharya, and some little bit explanation about Shivananda Lahari. So today for this we have Dr. Diwakar Goutham. Welcome to you, sir. So, sir, Dr. Diwakar is a consultant neuropsychiatrist at Narayana Health, Electronic City Campus, Bangalore. So, he has studied and worked at UK, Manchester, Lancaster, and Preston. So, now, apart from his routine work, he is continuing his Vedantic and spiritual studies under the guidance of Dr. Timmappa Hegde. We are pleasure to have you, sir. And as today being the Independence Day of India, so his kid will start with the Rashtra Gita, means Rashtra Bhakti Shloka, and then he will take over the session. Sir, we don't know the name of the kid. I am so sorry. We don't know the name of the kid.
Namaste. Thank you very much. She is Ananya.
Ananya. Yeah. Kumari Ananya will chant a shloka on Rashtra Bhakti.
Start.
प्रकृत्या सुरम्यं विशालं प्रकामं सरित्तारहारललामं निकामं हिमाद्रिललाटे पते चैव सिन्धु प्रियं भारतं तत् सदा दर्शनीयम् प्रियं भारतं तत् सदा दर्शनीयम् धनानां निदानं दरायां प्रदामम् इदं भारतं देवलोकेन तुल्यम् यशूयस्य शुभ्रं विदेशेषु गीतं प्रियं भारतं तत् सदा पूजनीयं प्रियं भारतं तत् सदा पूजनीयम् अनेके प्रदेशा अनेके च वेशा अनेकानि रूपाणि भाषा अनेका परं यत्र सर्वे वयं भारतीया प्रियं भारतं तत् सदा रक्षणीयम् प्रियं भारतं तत् सदा रक्षणीयम् हरि ओम्
Namaste. Thank you. That was really a very pleasant song. It ignites the divinity and also it ignites the Rashtrabhakti within us. Thank you for that wonderful song, Putama. Thank you.
May I know the name of the song or any what that song is called as or something like that?
If you just type in Priyam Bharatam.
Okay.
And
Okay. Sure. Okay.
thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, Namaste.
Yeah.
Can I share my slides?
Yeah, sure. You can share the screen.
Are the slides visible? And I hope my voice is also clear.
Yes, sir.
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ with the greatest of reverence to all the gurus, to the Guru Parampara, to the Ubaya Gurus of the Shringeri Mata, Ubaya Gurus of the Edutare Mata, and all the Gurus, Swami Paramarthananda and our guide and Guru, Dr. Timappa Hegde. And it's a great privilege to be part of this satsang. And thank you for the opportunity. And I also thank all my fellow seekers under the banner of Param Vedanta, which is led by Dr. Timappa Hegde. You must have heard about Guru Paduka Stotra. Again, this is another composition, great composition by Adi Shankaracharya. Natayayo Shri-patitam samiyuhu कदाचिदप्यासु दरिद्रवर्या मूकश्च वाचस्पतिता हिताभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्याम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. The first one, of course, is Guru Paduka Stotra, and the second one is from the Bhagavad Gita Dhyana Shlokas written by Madhusudana Saraswati. Now, these two shlokas are very apt for today's topic. Like the last session where you all learnt about Hasta Malaka, today we are going to learn about Totakaacharya. You will know why these two shlokas are very apt. Here, Mukascha vachas patitam hitabhyam. A person who is not able to speak. In other words, he is not, very bright. He is able to utter, like Hasta Malaka, you heard this story. So he was able to recite Hasta Malakiyam with the blessing of Adi Shankaracharya. Likewise, even today, you will see how Totakaacharya, he will become Totakaacharya, and before that, he was not as bright as other Shishyas. So therefore, when there is Guru Kripa, when there is a Kripa of the teachers, and when you are sincere and honest, anything can manifest. Likewise, Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayete girim. A person who is not able to speak can speak and say a lot of things which are not in his previous kind of knowledge or capacity. Pangum langayete girim. The person who is limping can also climb the highest of mountains. Which means what? We all think we cannot cross certain things, we cannot achieve certain things because we feel so inferior about ourselves. But when there is the grace of the Guru, when there is the grace of the God, then we are able to achieve to our best of the potentials. And that is the power of the Gurus. And of course, all these stories that we are hearing about, all the Shankaracharya and his Shishyas are taken from Madhaviya Shankara Digvijayam, which is written by none other than Swami Vidyaranya. So we have learnt about these things previously. Now, let's go to the story of Totakaacharya. Now, by this time, Shankaracharya has already got 3 of his Shishyas, Sureshwaracharya, Padmapadacharya, and Hastamalaka. And now he is at Sringeri. In this Sringeri, he finds this very active little boy. And this boy's name is Giri, Anandagiri. And Anandagiri wants to be with Adi Shankaracharya. And he is such a kind of boy that he will not leave the company of the Guru at all. He is so obedient and he is so sincere that his only interest is to look after the comfort of his Guru Adi Shankara. But he's not very keen in terms of learning. Yes, he is keen, but then he hasn't got the faculties in his mind and brain to absorb all the teachings. Unlike perhaps Padmapadacharya and Sureshwaracharya. Other students would learn things very quickly, but he is very interested in making sure that Adi Shankara is taken care for his food, for his sleeping, all the beddings are done, all his comforts are taken care. In fact, it is said that he was not sleeping till Adi Shankara would sleep, and he will wake up much earlier than Adi Shankara, and he will carry all of his clothes, wash them, and then bring it back. And he was as if like he was like a Lakshmana to Rama. Sri Rama, we all know when they all went to Vanavasam, Lakshmana was taking care of Rama and Sita. Just like that, Anandagiri was taking care of his Guru, and that was his respect and bhakti towards his teacher. But he would still sit in the classes. One day, when he went to wash the clothes in the river, Tungabhadra river, and he had not come back very quickly. And by that time, the time had already begun for the class. And all the other students, all the 3 other students who were there, started the Shanti Pata. And Shankaracharya suggested them, why don't you all wait? Giri is yet to come. He is still washing the clothes in the river. Now, what happens next? Then other students start to say, what is the point in waiting for this unintelligent student? They even call the word dumb student. By the way, you should know that we don't use the word dumb these days. It is considered as pejorative because it is insulting somebody. You can call us perhaps not as bright, and you can use any other terms, but don't use the term called as dumb, idiot, stupid, and all that, because it is very pejorative. So they all point to him saying that he is not very clever. What is the point of waiting for him? They even compare him to the wall and say that it is as good as teaching to the wall if you are actually telling him. And Adi Shankaracharya sees that although they are all telling the true things, the right things only, but the manner in which they were telling was something which was highlighting the other students' pride, a sense of false ego. And Adi Shankara wanted to, in a way, teach them also a lesson, as well as bless Giri. And with his mystic powers, with his Shakti, Adi Shankaracharya blesses Anandagiri. And Anandagiri, on the way back, he's singing and joyfully reciting few shlokas in praise of his Guru Adi Shankaracharya. And he was singing this beautiful composition, which is now called as Totakaacharya. And because he sang this, he gets the name Totakaacharya. So what is then this Totaka? Totaka is the meter. For example, in poetry, now Bhagavad Gita is in a certain meter. You have heard of, Gayatri. Gayatri mantra is in Gayatri meter. Like that, Totaka is also a meter based on which you make a poem or a stotra. Totaka meter is very beautiful, but it's one of the toughest ones. Now, this man, Giri, who had very little knowledge of all of these things, but perhaps he had absorbed all this knowledge and it was there. Somehow it never manifested. It required the Guru Krupa, and he starts to recite Totakastakam. I believe you all have learned Totakastakam previously in your classes. So we will look at a couple of them. And why are we learning about all these Sishyas? Why are we learning about Shankaracharya? Why are we learning about Guru Parampara, about Sringeri, about Advaita? And we all know the answer, isn't it? Yes, there is a destination to be reached. Destination we call as moksha. And while we keep going through the journey, we know that that destination is within ourselves only. But there is also another very important lesson, very important reason why we are learning all of this, which is what? How do we manage ourselves on a day-to-day basis? How do we conduct ourselves? How do we manage our mind? How to live in this society? How to interact with others? These are in a sense called as life skills. In this today's session, I would like to bring in a lot of these life skills that the World Health Organization has proposed. I mean, there are 10 of the main life skills. I'm sure all of you, most of the children particularly, would have learned about this in their schools because it is now made mandatory in the schools. And we use the examples of Totakaacharya, we use the examples of Shankaracharya and all these gurus. In fact, you can apply this to anybody and see how we can learn about life skills using these stories. So coming to Totakashtakam, all of these verses end with Bhavashankara Deshika Me Sharanam. Deshika itself means Shastra Tattvam Upadhisati iti Deshikaha. In other words, Deshikaha means Acharya. He is a guru. Shankara Deshika is Shankaracharya. In fact, the word Shankara itself is extremely powerful, very meaningful. Sam is the root word, which means Mangalam, auspiciousness, Kalyanam. One who brings Kalyanam is Shankara. Karaha is the one who brings about it. So Shankaraha means the one who brings auspiciousness to everybody. So we know about Lord Shankara, we know about Shankaracharya, we know about Shankara Bharati Swamiji of the Edutare Mata. Anybody who carries this name Shankara is showering auspiciousness and Mangalam to everybody. So, what is one of the life skills we all must possess? One of the compassion. We can see that in this particular shloka itself. Okay, so compassion, karuna is the word which is used. Karuna Varunalaya Palaya Mam Bhavasagara Dukka Viduna Hrudam Rachayakhila Darshana Tattva Vidam Bhavashankara Deshika Me Sharanam. So compassion for others is extremely important. In fact, that is one of the themes for the Indian Constitution also. How can we be compassionate on everybody? And more importantly, compassionate to one's own self. If you look at Shankaracharya, he was so compassionate. It's as if like it's the motherly compassionate, teachings that he has. Relentlessly given this knowledge selflessly to everybody to give mangalam, to auspiciousness to everybody. Likewise, we have another shloka here. Bhavata janata suhita bhavita nijabhoda vichara charumate. Vicharana charumate. So vicharana charumate is a very important skill we must possess, a life skill, which is what? Right usage of our intellect. We all have our mind. If you consider, even from a Shastric point of view, mind has four components: mana, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara. Manas is the emotional faculty. You can consider emotion and thoughts. Buddhi is the intellectual faculty or a cognitive faculty to decide what is right and what is not right. Chitta is the memory. And of course, Ahankara is our ego or personality. If you concentrate on the Buddhi part, sometimes if the emotion is too disturbed, our Buddhi also will get disturbed. For example, Arjuna, when he was supposed to fight the war, because he saw his close and near ones, he said quitting the war was the best thing to do. His Buddhi told him that quitting the war and taking up sannyasa is better than fighting the war. He forgot about his own swadharma because his mind was too preoccupied about the attachment. Likewise, when you are very angry, when you are very sad, when you are very anxious, our buddhi is the one which becomes a casualty. Buddhi will become very, it will be all over the place. So we need to keep a very close eye on our buddhi at all times, particularly when our emotions are not in instability. And again, the virtuous deeds that one is supposed to follow. Sukrute, Vikrute, Bahudha, Bhavatu. So let me do all the right works, good deeds to everybody through different means. By doing so, what happens? We get samadharshana, we get samatvam. We are able to see oneness in everybody. There are differences, of course, we know that. How do we see the unity in diversity? Only when you are able to purify your mind and do all of your actions as if you are doing for a bigger cause. If you say that I'm working for the sake of the country, then all the differences will come down. You will do all your work without looking at the differences. You will start looking at the samatvam in everybody. For example, if you are unhappy with one of your friends who has done some mischief or done something bad to you, instead of hating that friend, you can separate that person to the action. You can see the samatvam. You can say that okay, he's also studying, she's also studying, but this action is what I don't like, but I accept the person. So differentiating the actions and the person. Okay. And again, another verse, Vatsala is used, Sharanagata Vatsala Tattva Nidhe. So that is also related to compassion only. How can we have this compassion on others? So all of them are listed in this World Health Organization's life skills. Now I want you to remember this. It's very important. And use everything that you study through these classes and apply. Where does this kind of fit in? So what are these 10 life skills? Problem solving. This is of course very important for everybody, not only for children. Problem solving, we all need to solve the problems whenever we encounter them and solve it in a very practical, rational way instead of doing it emotionally. Critical thinking is extremely important. Only critical thinking will allow us to analyze what is right and what is not right. For example, that is what is encouraged even in our Shastras. Don't blindly accept anything you analyze. Keep asking questions. In your class, if you are in doubt, keep asking questions. Ask your teacher. These days technology is there. Use the technology in a right way. Ask your parents about any questions you may have. If they can't find it, they will, I suppose, search or ask somebody else and find out those answers. Effective communication skills. This is perhaps the most important thing now. You see, when you start seeing samatvam in everybody, our communication improves. If you don't hate anybody, our communication improves. Then that follows with decision making. Only then you can take right decisions. A lot of people take decisions, but if the intellect or buddhi is already kind of not working properly, obviously their decision making will also not be right. So we need to use our intellect and use it in line with the ethical practice, like dharmic practice, what is right and what is not right, and take decisions accordingly. And then creative thinking. Think out of the box, not just copy everything from the chat GPT or some other AI tool these days, but start your own thinking also. interpersonal relationship skills that is similar to somewhat communication skills. How do we relate to people at home, in the school, in the society, in a broader society? So, how do we relate to them and how do we interact with them? That's a very important skill. Self awareness and building skills. So, all of this, monitor your thoughts. We talked about all of this through using the shlokas. All of them lead to knowing about ourselves at different levels, knowing what is my body like, knowing what is my mind like, what kind of a personality have I got. Only when we know all of this and handle them effectively, we can transcend all of this and know the true nature also, which is one of the Satchidananda Atma. All of this you can learn later on only when we know the other things very well, our own temperament, our own personality. Empathy. Empathy is very important, trying to be in others' shoes and understanding how they might feel in the same situation, how they might react in a similar situation. And of course, coping with stress. Who doesn't have stress these days? Stress seems to be like a very commonly used term, starting from students till the teachers to everybody, IT professionals, doctors, you name it. But how to manage this stress? People who recite shlokas, who do meditation, who come to classes like this, we know for sure, even scientifically, this is proved, their stress levels are very low. And also, their ability to manage stress is much better compared to others. And of course, the last one is the coping with our emotions, which we have touched upon. So, if you look at the other slide, which is in the corner, to know, we need to know about ourselves and others. Problem solving skills, critical thinking and creativity is required to operate in the world. Decision making, cooperation with others, negotiating skills and productivity is required. To live together, we need to have the attitude of respect. That comes with only compassion. We can't respect others if we don't see the oneness. It's very difficult, right? If you say that everybody is different, then we can't see that similarities. It's very difficult to respect others. Sharing not only, material things when they are in need, but knowledge. Sharing knowledge is a very important thing. Sympathy, empathy, and then to be who we are, we need to again communicate very well, self management, and withstand the stresses and accountability also. When things don't go right, we need to tell ourselves, put up the hand and say, no, it is my responsibility also. So, this is what we talked about using the Totakaacharya. Self awareness, empathy is talked about, communication skills, and interpersonal skills. So you saw in every of these students, starting from Padmapadacharya till now Totakaacharya, everybody demonstrated a lot of humility. You look at Guruji's, Swamiji's, if there is Mahasanidhanam, Sanidhanam shows a lot of respect and reverence, humility to the higher up acharyas. So all of them show a tremendous humility, and when you look at them, you want to imbibe those qualities. So we need to have that humility, respect for others, and important to be non-judgmental. See now Padmapadacharya started to judge, to say that what is the point in teaching Totakacharya because he is not so intelligent. So, irrespective of how others are, they may not be as clever. In the classroom, you will have all kinds of children. Some of them may not even be able to speak properly. They may have certain conditions, such as maybe autism or other developmental disorders, or sometimes they may have problems with what we call as dyslexia, not able to learn certain things properly, or some people may be hyperactive, they may have ADHD, or they may have a physical health disability. So you need to treat all of them equally. Do not be judgmental based on who they are, based on where they come from. Don't talk about their color, and don't make fun of others because of their height, weight. So all of them is non-judgmental approach. This is what is the humility which is taught through all of these shastras, valuing others. So non-comparison is also very important, particularly for the children. If you score little less, you will be very disappointed. You will be disappointed because the other person has scored more. Not that you have scored less, most of the times the comparison. And this is a message even for the parents also. They also shouldn't compare their children with other children because every child is unique. Every child has their own capacities and abilities. And it is a duty of the parents and the teacher to elicit that. What is it they are good at it? And then use that channel to improve their efficiency. And of course, devotion is extremely important. So we looked at all of this, and coping with stress is possible only when you start to manage yourselves adequately. Your emotions, first of all, identifying, being mindful of what kind of emotions are being displayed in a particular scenario, and effectively managing them by seeking help. There is no substitute for hard work. If you're only praying and chanting Bhagavad Gita shlokas and not doing your own homeworks and academics, you are not going to get good marks in the academics. You've got to balance both of them. In fact, reading all of this will make your efficiency much better in your academic studies. So use this spiritual studies for your benefit in academic progress. So hard work is extremely important. So Totakaacharya, we know that he has composed fantastic Totakaastakam, but there is also another great work of Totakaacharya which is called as Shrutisara Samudharanam. Now, Shrutisara Samudharanam is an extract of all Vedas. It has about 174 to 178 verses. In fact, one of the Dhyana shlokas used in Vishnu Sahasranama, Pado Yasya Nabhirvidaya. So that particular shloka features in Shrutisara Samudharanam. Now, that particular verse talks about Vishwarupa Ishvara. So I think this is already addressed. I will just touch upon briefly. When you look at God as one form, as a form of Rama, Krishna, the deities that we all worship, it is called as Eka Rupa Ishvara. Whenever you go to temple, you see a God, that is Eka Rupa Ishvara. But when you start seeing the same God everywhere, if you say that Panchabhutas, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi is nothing but the manifestation of the Ishvara, and the entire universe, including all of our body and mind, is made up of this Panchabhutas only. And visualizing the God in this form is Aneka Rupa Ishvara, or in other words, Vishwarupa Ishvara. That is the second level of our bhakti. Eka Rupa Ishvara Bhakti, Aneka Rupa Ishvara Bhakti. Once you learn of all of this, you will start to learn about the substratum for both of them, which is Arupa Ishvara. That is knowing about it through Atmagnanam. So for now, I think if we also start to, in a way, think about God is everywhere, God is in the air, God is in everybody, that itself can bring compassion, samatvam, equanimity, looking at everybody, as manifestations of the God. It does not mean to say that whatever their bad things they are doing is also God. So we have our own free will also. So our free will can make us do good things as well as bad things. God is given this body and mind, but how we operate this body and mind is up to us. So you can see similarities at one level. At another level, you can see differences as far as the human beings and how they all operate is concerned. Now, you all know that in the Amneya Pitas, there is only one which is left now. So we have started with Govardhana Pitam in Puri, which is the first Acharya, first principal Acharya of that was Hastamalaka, and that represents Rigveda. Then we come to Dakshinamnaya Mata, which is in Sringeri, and first principal Acharya there was Sureshwaracharya, and then Dwaraka Sharada Mata, which is a representative of Samaveda, was presided by the first Acharya was Sri Padmapadacharya, and now we come to Totakaacharya. Totakaacharya was the first Acharya of the Uttaramnaya Mata, which is called as the Jyotir Mata. Jyotirmata is at a place called as Joshi Mata. In fact, recently the name Joshi Mata has changed to Jyotirmata. So that is at Uttarakhand. Fantastic place. We had a great privilege to visit this place a couple of months ago, and it's such a divine place. And there is a place called as Totakaacharya Gufa, a cave where Totakaacharya sat and meditated upon. There is a Spatika Lingam also inside. So that Uttaramnaya Mata is a representative of Mandukya Upanishad, and we know that each Veda has a Mahavakya. Each Mata is a representative of Mahavakya, and Mahavakya for the Uttarayana, this Uttaramnaya Mata is Ayam Atma Brahma, and that features in Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad is from Atharvana Veda. With this, we move to Shivananda Lahari. Shivananda Lahari is another great work, great composition by Adi Shankaracharya. Now, the word Shiva, Ananda, Lahari, we have three of them. So, we have heard of Saundarya Lahari before. In fact, it is said that Saundarya Lahari was composed at Sri Shailam, and some people say it was composed at Kashmir. So, this Shivananda Lahari was also composed by Adi Shankaracharya at Sri Shailam. Sri Shailam is another Jyotirlinga Kshetra. It is in Andhra Pradesh. It is a very divine place where Mallikarjuna and Brahmaramba deities are there. So, the word itself, Shiva, means very pure one, a very auspicious one, not just the Ishvara that you see. Shiva literally means very pure and auspicious one. So one who understands and abides with the Shiva will have eternal ananda. They'll always be very happy. So this one wonderful composition of Shivananda Lahari is talking about various aspects of Gnanam. There is a lot of bhakti there also. So there are 100 verses in Shivananda Lahari. So what are the salient features of Shivananda Lahari? So we talked about what is the meaning of the word Shiva itself. So in fact, the word Shiva features in Sri Rudram. It is said that Sri Rudram itself is in the center or the middle of the every scripture. And within Sri Rudram, there is this Anuvaka, eighth Anuvaka, which comes in the middle of that Sri Rudram. And within that comes Om Namah Shivaya. Namo Vrikshebhyo Harikeshebhyo Namastaraya Namah Shambhave cha Mayo Bhave cha Namah Shankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha Namah Shivaya cha Shivataraya cha. So you see the word Shivaya cha features there. This Shiva is the most auspicious one. What is the most auspicious one? It is nothing but Brahman or Atma itself. Now, Advaita says Brahman and Atma are the same. The most auspicious one, most pure one, most sacred one is Shiva. So, the word Shiva also features in many other Upanishads. I can think of the Mandukya Upanishad. There is in the seventh mantra, there is a word used as Shivam. Likewise, it is there in many other Upanishads. Now, we talked about all three different rupas, different forms of Ishvara, Ekarupa, Anekarupa, Rupa. All of them are talked about in Shivananda Lahari. And it is praising all of these forms and bhakti, and lot of examples are also given. So each verse highlights the feature and nature of bhakti, which is an essential component of the spiritual progress. See, bhakti is a common sadhana that we require all through the sadhana. So we need karma yoga, which means doing our actions as if they are all the actions belong to the God. And upasana yoga, which means mind controlling activities, meditation is upasana yoga. And then there is gnana yoga, getting the knowledge from the eligible or eminent acharyas. So all three sadhanas require bhakti. Like how we treat our mother, Adi Shankaracharya praises, he exalts, pleads, surrenders, And in some of the verses, he even fights as if he is fighting. Like, why are you not blessing me? What have I done? These kind of words are also used in the Shivananda Lahari. It condenses the entire Vedantic teaching, highlighting all the sadhanas, all the karma yoga, upasana yoga, and gnana yoga. Pure recital of this, even without knowing the meaning itself, can bring in lot of benefits. So if you know the meaning and then recite, obviously the bhavana, the bhakti towards each of them will increase so much. So some of these verses I've just taken just to highlight the life skill aspect of it. Here you see nature of the mind is talked about. Hridaya kapi matyanta chapalam. So he is comparing the mind to the monkey. So mind is so restless. In fact, we have seen this in the Bhagavad Gita also. So most of the scriptures also talk about it. So controlling our mind is very, very important. So Drudam Bhaktya Baddha. So how to control this? One needs to have the determination, Dridham. Dridham on what? One has to have an anchor. If you surrender to the Guru, that surrendering should be very, very Dridham. It has to be very firm with lot of bhakti. Only then the mind can be controlled. If it is oscillating, if it is temporary bhakti, obviously the mind is very powerful. It will keep on wandering again and again. So if one practices this, there is no doubt their ability to study and remember their subject matters will also increase tremendously. In this verse, you see, okay, the courage. One needs to have the courage and the determination when they are pursuing all their activities, not only spiritual but also material. And he compares our path should be like this. So this Dhritistambha, if you look at this tent house here, the stambha, the main anchor, it should be very firm. And then with all controlling our gunas, we have to tie in this tent. Only then we get a proper shelter. That's what is talked about here. And in this particular verse, apasmara is used. Apasmara, you see, is this blue colored demon that Lord Dakshinamurti is stamping his right foot on. So Dakshinamurti, as we know, is the embodiment of the Nirguna Ishvara, Rupa Ishvara, and he is teaching silently through Chinmudra. But whenever we are meditating, whenever we are in this path, there is this apasmara who will keep coming back again and again. So we need to always remember that this apasmara is under control. So what is this apasmara? Apasmara is our own internal enemy. We all have this sixfold internal enemies. Kama, which is intense desire. Krodha, which is anger. When you obstruct the desire, it leads to anger. And then lobha. If you feed into the desire, there will be greed. And then moha. When you are already having a lot of greed, that makes a person deluded. Their thinking capacity will go. And then madha. Madha means they become very, very arrogant, very much egoistic. And then matsarya. If they are not getting a lot of things, they'll start comparing with others. They'll feel jealousy. So even if they have everything, if somebody is more richer than them, they feel jealous about them. So these are all our internal enemies. All of us have this at different levels. So how to recognize this? Keeping an eye on them is very important, especially when you are in this spiritual path, when you are meditating. And all these times, these thoughts can come in. So keep an eye on that and shift your focus back on, no, I need not have any of this. Only when we start to control all of this, our mind can travel in the right path. So this is perhaps the last but one slide. So reminding you again, the coping, this life skills from the WHO, and you can relate to all of this. The self-awareness, knowing oneself very well, their limitations, strength. We all have our strengths and limitations. You can make a list of things. What are you good at? What are you not so good at? If you're not so good at, try and improve. Maybe sometimes some people are not cut out for doing certain things. This is an important lesson for the parents also, especially when they're choosing their careers. Empathy, ability to imagine what life is like for the other person, trying to be in other shoes, and then understand them. Communication, effective communication is very important, not only with others, even to oneself. How do you talk to yourself? Of course, not loudly, silently. And then interpersonal relationship, creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, coping with stress, and coping with emotions. Okay. So you can apply this in any scenarios, particularly if there is something like an exam failure. You can start looking into this and say, how am I managing this? How is my emotion now? Am I communicating my needs and my emotions properly or not? So all of this is extremely, important, and try to remember them and try to practice them using your day-to-day life. Whenever you listen to such spiritual talks, all the, evolved acharyas, gurus, try and see where does this fit in my day-to-day practical life, how to follow them. That is the very important thing. Yes, these are all very important seeds which is being fed to your brains, which will help you definitely. There's no doubt. Someday you will get more benefit, but for a day-to-day benefit also, we can use them. We can use their life, we can use their examples, and then use them in our day-to-day life. Okay. So manage and be aware of your mind at all times. Know its strengths and weaknesses. Know how it's reacting. It's very important to control the mind. Unless we deal with the mind, we can't progress spiritually and also materially. So managing ourselves is extremely, extremely important. With this, I will complete. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Dhanyavada. And I'll hand over to the host for any further discussions and any questions that you may have.
Thank you, sir. It was a very wide open, session for us, not only regarding the Vedantic aspect, but also in the real life aspect. Also, the examples you gave, the uh, you know, uh, the points you have listed from this story of Totakaacharya. It's uh, very interesting, sir. Very good, this one. And I think the parents here also would have got your words regarding while taking the decisions for their children, and while dealing with their children. So yeah, it's a very eye opener for all of us, sir. Uh, Before going to quiz, so just I will pause a minute. So if we have any doubts, uh, any queries, so anyone can raise their hand and check with doctor. Otherwise, we will go for just a quick quiz round. Yeah, I think I'm not seeing any questions in the chat box as well. So yeah, Sandhya, yeah, you can unmute.
ಹರಿ ಓಂ.
Yeah.
ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ತೋಟಕಾಷ್ಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದು
Ah,
ಗುರು ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಅವರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಆ ಆ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳ್ತಿದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಬಾಯಿಂದ ತೋಟಕ ಅಷ್ಟಕ ಬಂತಾ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
Sir, I didn't quite catch the complete.
actually, I also she was just mentioning the Guru Karunya from the Guru Astaka, sorry, Totakastaka, if I am not wrong. I think it was not a question mere, it was the explanation or the
ಹೌದೌದು, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು, ಕ್ವಶನ್
the
ಅಲ್ಲ.
the comment
Main
upon which
ಗುರು
you
ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ
focused
ಇದ್ರೆ
on the Totakastakam. Yeah.
ಗುರು
Correct, Amma.
ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ
Correct. Yeah, that's what she was saying. Upon the Guru Drishti, from Guru Drishti, the eye was opened, like the inner eye of the Shishya was opened, and hence the Totakastaka came, like that she was meaning, if I'm not wrong.
ಹೌದು ಹೌದು.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So shall we start a quiz session? All the kids there? I think Yashas there, Vishnu. So I think I have given the permission for unmuting themselves. So if I hear the voice of the children, we can start.
Yes, we are able to unmute. You can go ahead with the quiz, please.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
madam. Thank you. Yeah. So today we spoke about Totakaacharya. So what is the Purvashrama name of Totakaacharya? Means before taking the sannyas, what was the name of Totakaacharya? I remember sir showcased it in the slide with the bold letters. Yeah, anyone can unmute and tell.
Giri.
Sorry, Shubham?
Giri.
Giri. What Giri? Full name, please. You are halfway there.
Anandagiri.
Very good. Yeah, Anandagiri. So he had shown interest to become the student of Adi Shankaracharya at Sringeri. Okay. Second question. What did he compose? What did he compose in with respect to his guru, or what did he compose? Why, for what he is famous for? Which work?
Totakashtakam.
Very good. Very good. Can you chant first sloka of Totakastakam? If you know.
विधिताखिल शास्त्र सुधा जलधे महितोपनिषत् कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशङ्कर देशिकमे शरणम्.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I think you chanted without seeing any book. It's very good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good. Then very Totakaacharya is the founder Swamiji of one of the Amnaya Pitha. Which is that Amnaya Pitha? Yeah, others can also participate. I think I saw the messages of Vishnu. Vishnu can also unmute and chant. Sorry, tell.
Sri
Yeah.
Jyotirpitham.
Yeah, correct. Sri Jyotirpitham. Do you know who is the current Swamiji of Jyotirpitham? Anyone? It is Avimukteshwarananda Saraswati, and his guru. Yeah, very good. Vishnu answered correct. Avimukteshwarananda Saraswati, and before him it was Swarupananda Saraswati. Okay. Yeah, correct. Very good. And next one. So after that he said something about a major hymn written by Adi Shankaracharya. Which is that hymn or the stotra?
Shivananda Lahari.
Very good, very good. Yeah. If you know something about Shivananda Lahari, you can tell me. Like what he said, na? What is Shivananda Lahari, and something about Shivananda Lahari. Whatever you know, you can tell. Hello, Hari Om. Okay. Yeah, I think yesterday, in the last session, we spoke about Padmapadacharya, right? Sorry, last session we spoke about Hastamalakacharya. So he is the founding Swamiji of founding saint of Puri Jagannath Matha. So who is now the current Swamiji or the present Pitadipati of Puri Govardhana Pitha? Any idea? Any idea? Yeah, it's Nischalananda Saraswati. Okay. So his guru was called as Karapatri Swamiji. So he has written many books on Vedic mathematics. He has given the calculations of Vedas a different angle, and he has written so many books on Vedic mathematics. And till today, ISRO scientists, whenever they have some doubts, they go to Puri's Shankaracharya and get those doubts and astrophysical calculations correct. So that is the greatness of Puri Shankaracharya ji. Okay. So before that, that previous week we had a talk on Padmapadacharya. So can anyone tell who is the current Pitadipati of Dwarka Pitha, which is near Gujarat? Yeah, it is Swami Sadananda Saraswati. So Sadananda Saraswati's guru also, it is Swarupananda Saraswati. So Swarupananda Saraswati, when he was alive, he was the Pitadipati of both West and East. Purvamnaya, not West and East. Sorry, Uttaramnaya and Paschimamnaya. Uttaramnaya Jyotirpitha and Paschimamnaya Dwaraka Pitha. So he was the Pitadipati of both. Okay. So after these three, like Totakaacharya, Hastamalakacharya, and Padmapadacharya, so another one saint name is pending with respect to Shankaracharya's 4 disciples. Can we know who is that? It's Sureshwaracharya, who is the founding saint for Sringeri Sharadam. Yeah. And Rama madam, you can you can also engage, um, like if you have any questions, you can also engage the children.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay. The meaning of the word Amnaya. Anybody have explained about that? Yeah. Amnaya is a center of learning, center of knowledge. Now that is where the Vedic knowledge was propagated. So Amnaya, Dakshinamnaya means the center of knowledge or center for knowledge in the south. Purvamnaya, that is in the east. Uttaramnaya is in the north, and Paschimamnaya, it is in the west. So these are the 4 main centers of knowledge attributed to different Vedas, 4 major Vedas. So that is about Amnaya Pithas. So Adi Shankaracharya traveled all over India thrice without any means, like transport, modern transport like flight and all. So he traveled all around the India 3 times and then established these 4 mathas or the Amnaya Pithas and appointed one of his 4 shishas in each mathas to spread the knowledge and dharma acharane, the how to behave with people, how to be in society, how to lead life without harming or disturbing somebody, so the others. And the tattva of this Sringeri thing, so I think we have spoken in most of the thing, Ishas. Yeah, most of the facts about Amnaya Pithas has been covered. Any questions? About what was explained today or any other thing? I think everybody has understood. Okay, then if there are no questions, we can just wind up.
Yeah, yes,
Keshav?
madam.
Yeah.
Yes, madam. Before winding up, what is the Vakya of Jyotirpitha given from Shankaracharya? I think sir mentioned on that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Ayamatma
Okay.
Brahma. Yeah. Yeah, I think some of the answers are coming in YouTube live streaming, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and we have a good, viewers in YouTube today. Up to 50, we have crossed. We have crossed concurrent views of 50. So good on that. And yeah, so madam, good to wind up, madam.
Yeah, almost.
Sure. So now we have learnt about the past of Shankaracharya mutts, like what are who was Shankaracharya, what is Guru, what is Guru Parampara, who are the primary disciples of Shankaracharya, uh, how they got that, the Pitadhipati, the crown, not the crown, the patta or the place. So okay, so what were their contributions? So everything we have learned. So in the next upcoming this one, we will be learning regarding the current Pitadipatis of especially of Dakshinamnaya Sringeri Sharada Pitha, and also we will be learning some of the shlokas after that till September. So this Satra, Jnana Satra, what we call, will continue still, I think, 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks, 4 more classes. So we request everyone to join, and also I think you can also invite your friends, colleagues, or relations also, by sending the Google Meet, by Zoom link, as well as the YouTube live channel, YouTube live link, so that they will also get to know the things which they might not be knowing. So with that note,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम तत्सत् गुरुचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु हरिः ओम हरि ओम everyone.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
We'll meet on Monday.
ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಶುಭರಾತ್ರಿ.
Shubhratri. We will meet on Monday. Sorry, I forgot to mention thanks to Diwakar sir. Thank you, sir. It was more insightful session for us.
You mentioned in the beginning itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We also would like to express our gratitude, sir. Very wonderful presentation indeed. It was very, very beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Also,
Dhanyawada.
No, I can't
Yeah.
help but find the similarities, the correlations that especially we are all teaching today, using various different banners. WHO and UNICEF, they advocate the life skills, and you can see all of them are taught. It's just that the terminologies are different, that's all. So I think as parents and teachers now, our job is to see how we can correlate them so that child can utilize it on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise it will seem like two different streams altogether, but it is not.
Absolutely.
Ultimately both of them are meant for personal growth, how to deal with oneself, particularly in the time of distress, in the time of stress. And when that is done, their ability to manage both the studies as well as other aspects will improve. So I think our job as parents is to see those similarities and then make sense for the child.
Yeah, it was very unique, but very unique. Wonderful and very unique. Dhanyawada, sir. Very nice it was.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Gautam sir, Diwakar sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaskara ನಿಮಗೆ. Thank you.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಅದು ಮೈಂಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಂದ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕಲ್ತು ಹೋಗೋದಂಕಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಆರ್ ಇದು just as you said, correlating with our day-to-day happenings. That is most important. That was very nice. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
हरि ओम सर, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवादः.